Namaste and welcome. Today we're going to start with a short practice, and we're going to begin this practice with a standing stretch. So when you're ready, stand steady on your mat. Notice the breath, creating that soft sighing sound in the throat, and taking a breath in, lifting the arms, the chest and the chin into your stretch, and following that breath out, bring your hands beside the body. So reach up on the in-breath, receiving the breath from above, and wait for the out-breath and bring the arms back to rest at your sides. And if you feel comfortable with your arms raised, then you can keep your arms lifted and hold the asana. But again, trying not to strain, listening to the breathing, using that same ratio of the breath that we established with the movement. And responding to the heaviness of the arms by bringing your hands back to the chest, and take a rest here. Now we're going to stretch up into your upward stretch and fold on the exhale, taking care to soften the knees, keep the weight balanced in the feet, tuck the chin in so you're gazing at the end of the forward bend towards the knees. Inhaling up and exhaling down. Working at your own pace, taking care to keep all of the movement within the breath and staying still when the breath isn't moving. Try and avoid shifting the weight backwards and forwards into the feet so that you keep the weight balanced. And if you're comfortable in your forward bend, then you can stay for a few breaths, moving your head forwards. Straighten the arms as you inhale, straighten the spine to allow the breath in and folding on the exhale. Chin to the throat, nose towards the knees. Taking care to use the same rhythm of the breath that we established with the movement. And when you're ready, you can release yourself from the bend, come back up to standing, and return to your resting Samastiti, standing resting position. Now we're going to do a twist. So starting from a wide stride, feet parallel, equal weight in both feet. Inhale, taking the arms wide, and as you exhale, you will be twisting and folding, taking the opposite hand to the opposite foot or ankle. Again, working at your own pace, following the breath out into that twist, and using the breath in to come back to neutral. Go steady, staying steady when the breath is still, and moving at the comfortable rate of the breath. Now, if you find that you can comfortably reach into that twist, then you may decide, after having repeated the movement several times, keeping that same rhythm of the breath, you might choose to hold the pose. Release the twist gently by gazing to the floor on the inhale, and maybe taking the eyes to gaze upwards towards your right hand on the exhale. Equal weight in both feet to keep the hips steady. And when you're ready, you can inhale back to neutral, arms wide, taking that breath in, and twist as you exhale to the left hand to, or right hand to left ankle. Again, you can ease the twist gently by gazing at the floor on the inhale, and tighten the twist gently by gazing up towards the ceiling on the exhale. And when you're ready, return to neutral and folding. Coming forward, one hand to each ankle, soft elbows, top of the head looking at the floor, and inhale. Gaze at the floor in front of you. Lengthen the spine to make way for that breath in. So you can activate the muscles between the shoulder blades to encourage that in-breath. And as you exhale, bring the front body forward and down, top of the head towards the floor, chin to the throat, gazing towards the navel. Go steady with this. Try and avoid rocking from the fronts to the backs of the feet. And then returning to your upright resting position, Samastiti, hands at the heart, feet side by side. And take a few breaths here to rest. So from here, coming to one end of your mat and stepping back with the left leg so that you have your right foot in front of your left in a stride. Weight into the toes, light in the heels. Inhaling upward, stretching, and as you exhale, folding forwards, softening that front knee, and following the breath in, back up again. So working at your own pace, following the breath, inhaling to receive the breath from above, and exhaling, strength through the feet. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, stepping forward so your feet are side by side again. Inhale all the way up and return to Stamastiti. Wait for the balance. Wait for the heart rate to settle. And then step back with the right leg. Soft knees, inhale, lifting the arms. Exhale, folding. So moving when the breath is moving, still when the breath is still. Trying to keep the weight even in the feet to prevent any swinging or swaying from side to side. And on an exhale, step forward. Inhale all the way back up to standing when you're ready. And return to your resting Samastiti. Settle the heart, settle the balance. And then from here, we're going to stretch upwards on a breath in, fold on a breath out, soft knees to get the hands down, and then step away from your hands about a meter or so, depending on how tall you are, into Ardha Mukta Svanasana, or downward facing dog. On an inhale, knees down, chin forward, dipping the back, and exhale, folding back to a long arm child pose. So waiting for the breath in, and as you breathe in, coming forwards, make room for the breath. Tuck your toes under, lift the hips, exhale into downward dog. Inhale, coming back to Bittilasana. Back dipped, chest stretching and folding. Child pose on the exhale. So go at your own pace with this. Moving when the breath is moving, and still when the breath is still. And when you next find yourself in child pose, perhaps relax any tension in the arms. You can turn your hands, palms up, soft elbows dropping. Doesn't matter whether your hands are in front of your head or behind. Taking a moment here to rest. When you're ready, inhale up onto kneeling up. Exhale, hands down. Have the hands wider than your shoulders. Inhaling, bringing the front body forward, navel to the floor. Exhale. Take some weight out of the hands and inhale, look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, chin down. Try and keep the neck long by keeping the shoulders back and away from the ears. You can use the hands to keep you steady. Press down the tops of your feet, the fronts of your legs, to keep the lower body anchored. Inhaling, gaze up. And then exhale, fold back to a long arm child. And again, rest. Softness in the arms and shoulders, forehead on the floor or on a block if it doesn't reach the floor. Heavy in the head and tail. And then gently and slowly from here, roll into a semi-supine position with your feet on the floor, arms beside the body, knees looking at the ceiling. Beginning with the arms stretch, taking the arms up and back on the inhale and bringing the hands beside the body on the exhale. So again, trying to keep all of the movement within the frame of the breath. Noticing the rise and the fall of the chest, the belly and the spine as you inhale. And trying to complete the movement before you complete the breath. And then you might want to bring your heels a little closer so your shins are perpendicular to the floor. And if your hips feel light, you can inhale, lifting hips and hands, knees moving forward away from the hands reaching up and back. So you're lifting into bridge pose on the inhale and rolling down the spine on the exhale. Now, if that posture is comfortable, again, that's entirely up to you. You can keep moving if you choose. But if you're feeling comfortable with that movement, then you can lift into bridge pose and again hold it. Cat is an optional extra. And as soon as you begin to feel heavy, again, you can bring your arms by your side. You can roll down to the floor, pick up your feet and park your hands on your knees. So your arms and legs are above the torso, relaxed in the feet and ankles, and allow the spine to settle. And recover your breath. And once the breath is moving nicely, you can make that small Apanasana movement, hinging at the hips, knees pressing forward into the fingers as you inhale, so the arms lengthen and the spine lifts. And as you exhale, you press the knees into the hands. So notice the tilt of the pelvis, notice the effects on the spine. Again, work with the breath. Not moving if the breath isn't moving. And trying to keep all of the movement within the breath. And once you've steadied your breath and your back print, you can put your feet down. Hands away from the body so the thumbs are further away from you than the little fingers. And just rest here. Some of us like to rest with our knees bent, feet on the floor, and other people like to stretch their legs and rest with the legs long. But I suggest that if you do decide to lengthen your legs, you do so one at a time. And resting now is the whole body. Notice that breath you've been nurturing. Let go of any modifications to the breath and just be here, resting as the whole body. And here the body is resting. Here the breath is effortless. And we can experience for a short while the joys of just being here. Being breathed, being lived, resting. with awareness. And you can stay resting for as long as you find necessary. But when you do decide to move, go gently. Take your time. Thank you for practicing with me. Namaste.